Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Teen, General Manager and Register Migration Agent from Solar Migration. Welcome to Teen's Migration Show. For tonight's live show, I will be talking about a very popular visa option, which is 408 COVID pandemic visa. This visa is created by the COVID situation. So 408 visa, actually, they have a lot of different streams, but for this specific stream, COVID pandemic visa is created under the COVID situation in Australia by the Department of Home Affairs. So as usual, before we start tonight's migration show, I would like to give you a bit updates for what's happening in Australia and a simple introduction about our company if it is your first time to watch our live show. So Solar Migration established back in 2002, which is 20 years ago. So this year will be our 20th anniversary. For us, Solar Migration, our main purpose is to assist international students to study and migrate into Australia. We have two offices in Brisbane, one in Brisbane CBD and one in Sunnybank. So we provide services to apply for university, colleges, high school, or even primary school or English studies in Australia. At the same time, we assist most of the visa applications if you would like us to assist your visa application. All right, so let's have a look what's happening in Australia these 2 weeks. So first of all, for Australian border protection, so no more PCR tests or rapid tests required for fully vaccinated international travelers to come to Australia from 18th of April. So for any new upcoming international travelers to Australia, you will not be required to take the PCR test, but you need to be fully vaccinated by one of the recognized vaccination from the Australian government. Secondly, I would like to give you a bit update of the current global visa application processing time. It was just released last week for the latest statistics. So I would like to give you some information about the current visa processing time, especially for some popular visa options, such as 500 student visa, 485 graduate visa. How long does the Department of Home Affairs assess or finalize a visa application nowadays? So this is the website the Department of Home Affairs provides for the current processing time for different visa types. So for 500 student visa, if you are coming to study just for English as the independent allied course sector, 75% of the visa application were finalized within 44 days. 75% of the visa application, if you are coming to Australia to study English only, then the current processing time is around 44 days. For those who would like to come to Australia to study in primary school or high school, the current processing time, 75% of the visa application were finalized within 70 days. For those who would like to come to Australia to study a vocational course, which means a diploma course, as advanced diploma course or certificate course, then the current processing time is around 57 days. And for those who would like to come to Australia to study a bachelor, master or honors degree, which is the higher education sector, the current 75% of the applications were assessed and finalized within 57 days, which is around 2 months. So the purpose why I show you about the current processing time of the student visa application is to ask you to prepare as soon as possible if you would like to come to Australia as soon as possible, because due to COVID situation, for the previous 2 years, Australia has been locked down and closed the borders. So since it opens the border, a lot of new student visa application come, and the Department of Home Affairs might not have enough staff to finalize all the student visa applications. So if you intend to come to Australia to study as soon as possible, please leave enough time for the visa application. And of course, if you have any question about study in Australia, feel free to contact us, Sojourn Migration. Then we can arrange a individual counseling with you from our one of our experienced education counselor to give you the best advice, how long you need to prepare for the school application and visa applications. And apart from 500 student visa, I would also like to show you the other very popular visa, which is also related to international students after graduation, which is the 485 graduate visa. So for 485 visa, there will be two categories. One is called graduate work. The other one is called PSW, post-study work. So nowadays, 75% of the visa application will process around 11 to 12 months. So the waiting period is very long. And if you remember from my previous live show, I mentioned about if you are planning to apply for skill-related visa or employer-sponsored related visas, make good use of the waiting period while you are in Australia. Don't waste your time. So while you are on a bridging visa A, make good use of this period to get your English skills or to find a job related to your nominated occupation, because some of the visas will require you to have some years of working experience to pass the skill assessment, or require you to have minimum working experience to satisfy the employer related visa applications, such as the TSS visa. So make good use of the waiting period. Don't just stay and do nothing. Try to improve your English skills and try to find a job related to your background. Then you will have higher chance to success after your 45 visa. Okay. So let's come back to the news update. Last one is about semester two, July intake 2022. If you would like to come to Australia to study in a university for the bachelor or master degree, some of the university might close their application for July intake very soon, especially for those group of A universities. They have very strict application deadlines, such as the Australian National University. If you would like to study in July intake this year, they will close the application on 15th of May, 15th of May. So less than 2 weeks if you would like to apply for ANU. For the University of Melbourne, they will close application on 30th of June, 30th of May this year if it is for the July intake. So if you have any inquiry regarding studying in Australia in the upcoming July intake, if you still want to try, feel free to contact us. Then we can ask one of our education counselor to contact you to give you the best advice as soon as possible. Okay, now I would like to move on to tonight's topic, which is the Visa Surplus 408 under the COVID pandemic stream. So as mentioned earlier, so under the 408 visa, this is not a new visa. They have a lot of different categories such as research, exchange program, or entertainment, but they added this new stream, COVID-19 pandemic visa, to assist for the COVID recovery, as well as for to assist those visa holders who stuck in Australia during the border closure period. So they created this new stream to assist for the COVID recovery, as well as to solve the current labor shortage situation in Australia. So in tonight's live show, I will be talking about what is COVID visa, an overview of the COVID visa, what was the difference between critical sector and any other sector, and how much they charge for the 408 COVID visa, and who can apply for the visa, what type of document you will need to provide to support your visa application, and who can benefit from the 408 visas, that is who can consider to apply for this visa, and some visa options after 408 visa, because I heard a lot of different rumors about 408 visa if after you apply. So I will give you more ideas about visa options after 408 visa. And of course, I will also share with you some frequent asked questions that I receive from my daily counseling. as well as a Q&A section. So if you have any question during tonight's live show, just feel free to type in the chat box, then I can answer your question in the Q&A section, okay? So firstly, what is 408 visa? So as you can tell from the name, 408 visa under the COVID-19 pandemic stream, this stream is to assist for the COVID recovery and to solve any staff shortage situation in Australia, because Australian border has been closed for nearly 2 years. And this temporary visa, this is a temporary visa, this is not a permanent visa. So this temporary visa lets you to stay in Australia to work if you are employed or you receive an offer of employment in a key sector, or what we call a critical sector, or any other sector of the economy. So some basic or key requirements for the visa is you need to be currently working in Australia, or you receive an offer of employment. So what's the difference? So if you're currently working, which means you already started your work, but there will be some scenario that you receive an offer of employment from your potential employer, but you haven't started yet. Let's say today is 4th of May and you receive a contract or employment agreement from your employer who would like you to work for them from 1st of June this year. So this is what we call offer of employment. Okay, and since this is to um, like focus on COVID recovery, so you need to be in Australia to apply for the visa. If you are not in Australia, of course, you can't apply for this stream. And you need to have a substantive visa, which is less than 90 days from your expiring day, or if your previous substantive visa already expired but it is within 28 days, then you can submit this visa application. So if you have a long visa, let's say today is 4th of May 2022 and your visa, you're holding a student visa, let's say, and then your student visa expires on 4th of May 2023, which is more than 1 year, then you can't apply for this 408 visa, okay? So if you are currently holding a substantive visa, then you can't apply unless it is within the 90 days of the expiry date, or if you previously hold a substantive visa but it has been expired but less than 28 days, then you still can apply for the 408 visa, okay? So this is a overview. But the other thing I would like to give you more details is what kind of job can be considered as the critical sector or key sector. So the Department of Home Affairs, they gave definition. So if you're working in the sector such as agriculture, food processing, healthcare, aged care, childcare, tourism and hospitality, or Commonwealth-funded aged care services, then you will be considered as working in the critical sector or key sector. So I will give you some examples what type of occupations or work can be defined as key sector workers. For agriculture, it can be food picker, or it can be horticulture worker. For food processing, you can be working in the meat factory. For healthcare, you can work like a registered nurse or enrolled nurse, or health-related practitioners. For aged care, you can be the aged carer. For childcare, it can be the childcare center worker or early childhood educator. For tourism and hospitality, you can work as a cook, a chef, a waitress, a waiter, or kitchen hand. For Commonwealth funded aged care services, this is easy to understand. You need to check whether your aged care center, whether they are funded by the government, by the Commonwealth. So this is the key sectors definition in Australia by the Department of Home Affairs. And the visa duration, if you're applying as the key sector worker, then you will be granted 12 months duration for your 408 visa. And the Department of Home Affairs, they don't charge you any visa application charge. So it's for free. The visa application charge is zero. This is for critical sector workers. But for other workers who work in other industries, this is the new stream. This is the new stream under the 408 COVID pandemic stream. Another category This is announced from 21st of February 2022 for nearly more than 2 months ago. They included this category as well. So as long as you are working in Australia and you satisfy all the other requirements, then you can also apply for the 408 COVID pandemic visa. But the visa duration will be only 6 months, which is half of the key workers, the key sector workers. And same for the visa application charge is for free. The Department of Home Affairs doesn't charge any application fees for the 408 pandemic visa. So now I would like to give you more ideas about the key requirements or the document checklist if you are applying for the 408 visa. First of all, you need to show evidence that you have employment. So you can currently working in one of the Australian company or you receive the offer of employment, which I explained difference already. Secondly, this is for the visa requirements. Your visa must be expiring very soon within 90 days from your visa expiry date, or your substantive visa already expired but within 28 days. And you have work rights on your current visa. This is the new requirements from 21st of February this year. They updated this requirement unless you were in Australia before 21st of February 2022, then you still can apply for the 408 visa if you can show your employment, even your current visa doesn't have working rights. But for those who arrive after 21st of February 2022, let's say you came to Australia with a tourist visa without any working rights on 1st of March 2022, and before your tourist visa expires, you receive an offer of employment from a potential employer and you would like to apply for 408 visa, you can't. This is the new requirement from 21st of February 2022. However, if you were in Australia before that date, before 21st of February 2022, you can still apply for the 408 visa. So 21st of February 2022 is a very important date. This is the date how the Department of Home Affairs will differentiate two different categories of applicants. So apart from the visa requirement and employment requirement, so for the employment requirement, sometimes my client asks me, do I need to be full-time worker or can I be a part-time or casual worker? The answer is yes. No matter you are working as a full-time, a part-time or casual, you can still apply for the 408 pandemic visa. So they don't require you must be a full-time worker or any working limitation. So as long as you can provide evidence of employment, then you can apply for 408 visa to satisfy the employment requirements. And you need to have a work right, as I mentioned, on your current visa. It can be student visa, it can be 485 visa, or it can be 482 visa. So I will talk about more samples who can consider to apply for this visa in later slides. Okay, and you need to have sufficient health insurance, which will be Overseas Visitor Health Cover, OVHC. So for OVHC, this is the health cover that the health funds or health providers that they normally would deduct from your bank account monthly. This is different from the student health cover. So for OSHC, you need to purchase the whole duration of your intended studies duration in Australia. But for OVHC, they accept monthly deduction, okay? And you also need to satisfy the character assessment, which means you will need to apply for an Australian Federal Police check and you need to undergo the medical check if you haven't done so within the recent 12 months. Yeah. So I put a note that from 21st of February, again, I mentioned this date a lot of times. From 21st of February 2022, new applicants claiming they are unable to depart Australia due to COVID-19 situation will not be accepted anymore. So previously, before 21st of February 2022, they have another category for the 408 COVID visa, which is you can't depart Australia due to the border restriction. Your home country might have the border restriction. Australia also have the border restriction. That's why before 21st of February 2022, the Department of Home Affairs have one category to allow people who can't depart Australia to apply for the 408 visa, even they don't have employment. But they change it. This is the latest requirement. All right. So what I can do with the 408 visa, if I'm currently on a 408 visa or I want to apply for 408 visa, what I can do with the 408 visa. So first of all, you can work, you can remain temporarily in Australia and continue your employment or to start your employment. And they don't limit the working hours. So you can work unlimitedly. If you are working full time, then you can still work over 40 hours per week or per 2 week. They don't limit about the working hours. And you can travel outside Australia and return while your COVID-19 pandemic event visa is in effect. And if you meet any travel requirements in place at the time of your travel, which means even we don't have the we open the border nowadays, but you need to make sure you are fully vaccinated. Otherwise, you might need to go through the quarantine. Okay. And you can also bring your family members into the visa if they are with you in Australia, such as your partner or your child, your under 18 child or children. They can be included in the 408 COVID visa application. Okay. And who should consider to apply for the 408 visa? So there are some common popular types of visa applicants who might consider to apply for the 408 visa. First of all, is currently working in Australia on a 485 visa, on a graduate visa, but the visa is expiring soon. Let's say less than 90 days, then you can consider to apply for 408 pandemic visa. Secondly, is for those who are completing their studies on a student visa, but they use 485 visa before, so they can't apply for the second time for 485 visa as the main applicant, or they can't pass the English requirement for 485 visa, then they need more time to apply for another visa to stay lawfully in Australia. Then they can consider applying for 408 visa as well, but they need to show employment evidence. And number three, for those who are holding a working holiday visa or working holiday visa, subclass 417 and 462, and they can apply for second or third working holiday visa or working holiday visa, or they already apply for 3 times already, and consider to stay in Australia for longer period, and they can also consider to apply for 408 visa. And any other working visa, um, they have no other visa options and the visa is expiring soon, then they can also consider for the 408 visa, such as the TSS visa, 482 visa. And this is a very good option for those who might be waiting for the skill visa nomination or invitation. Then they can still remain in Australia lawfully to wait for the outcome, to wait for the nomination approval. So this is one of the kind of option for applicant to apply to stay temporarily in Australia. So you might have the question, or you might have heard a lot of different stories about a 408 visa. Some I heard from some clients that they say, oh, after you get the 408 visa, you can't apply for other visas. Or I have heard like if you are transferring from 408 visa to another visa, your visa will be refused. Is it the truth? So I will give you more ideas in tonight's show. So what visa you can apply after 408 pandemic visa. So it depends on your own situation, of course. So I listed some popular options after 408 pandemic visa. So for those who are looking for skill-related visas, visa subclass 189, 190, or 491, if you get the invitation or stay nomination approval, then of course you can apply for these visas after your 408 visa. Second one is for employer related visas such as the TSS visa, 482 visa, the regional one, 494, or 186 direct entry, or training visa 407. Then you can consider to apply for these employer related visas. And for family-related visas, if you can find your loved one during your 408 visa period, then you can apply for the partner visa, which is subclass A20 and A01. And if you would like to do further studies after the 408 visa, then you can change it to 500 student visa, or like I mentioned last page, for those who need more time to satisfy the English requirement for 485 visa application, then once you get the result and you satisfy all the other requirements for 485 visa, then you can also submit the 485 visa during your 408 visa waiting period, or you have already been granted a 408 visa, then you can change it to 485. Okay, so this is the popular visa options after 408. So some of the clients, they have the question about one specific condition, what is called A503, no further stay condition. So the Department of Home Affairs does mention the client might be imposed a condition A503, no further stay. But practically speaking, I can't say 100%, but from all the cases that we dealt with, more than 148 visa, so far we haven't received any visa grant letter with the condition A503, no further stay. So if you can see, you can check on department's website. They said they might impose A503, no further stay condition on 408 visa. But practically speaking, so far I haven't seen any visa applicant receive a 408 visa with the no further stay condition. Okay, I'm not saying 100% because they might issue some they might issue the condition to some applicant, but for us, so far we haven't seen any. So it might related to your background. If you have been staying in Australia for a long period, like for more than 10 years or for 15 years on different temporary visa, then they might impose the no further stay condition. But for other scenario, for other situation, I don't think so. But if you have concern about your own situation, feel free to contact me or contact our company. Then we can have a look at your case and give you better ideas and give you the most professional advice on the visa application. All right. So here are listed some frequently asked questions that I receive from my daily counseling. First of all, can I apply for 408 COVID visa if my current visa, it can be like student visa or 45 visa or other temporary visa, has more than 90 days until expiry? So the answer is no. So you must have a visa that is expiring soon within 90 days, then you can apply for 408 visa. This is the visa requirements. So you can consider this 408 pandemic visa as the last option. So you don't have any other options to apply, but you would like to remain lawfully in Australia and you have employment, then you can consider. But if your visa is still valid for a long period, more than 90 days, then you can't apply. Okay. Secondly, I have received an offer of employment but not yet started the job. Can I use the offer of employment as the employment evidence? The answer is yes. So for employment evidence, you can either provide your employment contract or pay slips or income tax or income statement to prove your employment, and or or you can provide a offer of employment to prove your intended employment offer. Okay. Number three, can I change employer during my 408 COVID visa duration? So this is, I think, is the top frequent asked question that I receive from my daily counseling. The answer is yes, you can change employer, but if you're working in the key sector, in the critical sector, you must remain in the key sector. Let's say you apply the 408 visa claiming you're working in the hospitality and tourism industry, then you can change employer, but still within the key sector. You can change your employment from a hospitality industry to agriculture or food processing industry, that's totally fine as long as it's within one of the key sector. But if you are changing from a key sector to non-key sector, it might be an issue because your visa duration is based on key sector, which is maximum 12 months. But for non-key sector, the maximum visa duration can only be 6 months. So this is tricky. And number four, well, I mentioned these parts for the no further stay condition. Number five, can I travel outside Australia while holding the first rate COVID visa? So since Australia's border is now open, so if you are currently holding a first rate visa, then you can travel back to your home country and go back to Australia. This is clearly mentioned on the department's website. And number six, can I undertake multiple jobs during my first rate COVID visa or just one job? This is also another most frequently asked question that I receive. The answer is yes. So you can undertake two part-time job, two casual job, one full-time, one part-time, or even one casual, as long as you can survive, you can manage all these jobs, then you can. So, but I think one of the other question that the client would like to ask, can I have one employment that are related to the key sector, but the another one not related to the key sector? Let's say I have a job working as the kitchen hand in a restaurant. I also work in the office as the admin staff. You can. And how long the visa will be? So it depends on which job you have more working hours. So if your kitchen hand job have more working hours, then you can apply as 12 months for the key sector. But if the admin job has more working hours compared to the kitchen hand, then the Department of Home Affairs might just grant you 6 months duration. But I won't say 100% because I can feel the Department of Home Affairs is quite flexible, honestly speaking, in terms of the 40-day COVID visa. So we receive a lot of visa grant letter for 12 months duration. So again, if you have specific question related to 40-day COVID visa, just feel free to contact SOAG Migration if you have any question. Okay, so if you're watching our live tonight, if you have any question, just feel free to type in the chat box, then I can answer your question during the Q&A section. All right, so this is basically the introduction about the 40-day pandemic visa, who can apply, and after the visa, what I can do, and after 40-day visa, what other visa options I can apply. So if you still have any other inquiry, just feel free to contact us. I will share our contact details. So this is our contact details. You can contact us via YouTube, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, or email. Or if you're currently living in Queensland, living in Brisbane, feel free to jump into our office Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Just feel free to come to our office to walk in and then get our staff help. So this is tonight's live show. If you don't have any question, I will finish the live show and I will see you in 2 weeks time. If you have any specific topic you are interested, you would like to know more about that visa type or study options, you can comment in our YouTube channel, then I can talk about that topic in the future episodes. Okay, thank you all tonight. I will see you in 2 weeks time, which will be 18th of May. 18th of May, I will do the live show again, and I will see you all 2 weeks later.